You know, it's kind of appropriate that a new Star Wars series has just come out because I actually just got this brand new lightsaber hilt that's supposed to replicate Mace Windu's lightsaber. And I also just recently bought this Star Wars coaster. So I'm ready for Star Wars. And welcome to my safe haven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking and joining me for another review and video here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. Let me introduce myself if this is your first time checking me out. Hey, how's it going? My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek, and I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk about superheroes, I like to talk about video games, I like to talk about comic books, I like to talk about action movies, I like to talk about sci-fi movies and fantasy movies, and I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, become one of my safe haveneers. But whether you are a subscriber, a follower, a new person on the channel, or you've been here since the beginning, do me a favor and please hit that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm getting this video and my channel out there. I'm already over the 6,000 subscriber mark. Let's continue to grow this channel so I can get to 10,000 subscribers. And guys, as you can see, I got a microphone on my collar. I am testing out or trying out new audio because we're trying to grow and expand and get better here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. So hopefully the audio is way better than all the other videos because I did spend like $300 on this mic. But anyway, we are here to talk about, non-spoiler of course, Andor, the newest Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus courtesy of Lucasfilm. I want to say thank you to Disney and Lucasfilm for giving me the opportunity. I did see the first 4 episodes, and I know I'm not sure how many episodes are debuting tomorrow, but I know at least episode 1 is debuting tomorrow. But yeah, thank you Disney and Disney Plus and Lucasfilm. But yeah, it's gonna be non-spoilers obviously because the show isn't out yet. But for those of you that don't know, Andor is a prequel series to Star Wars Rogue One, and it's an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue as Cassian Andor will embark on a path that is destined to turn him into a rebel hero. And essentially, because if you look at the poster of this show, it is the start of the rebellion, the origin stories of the rebellion. And given a little bit more context and information for the show, because I did get the opportunity to go to D23, and Kathleen Kennedy did describe this show. She said there's going to be 24 episodes in total, so I'm guessing they're going to be split into 2 seasons, season 1 and season 2, and then that's it. She described it as a 24 episode spy espionage thriller. And honestly, like, I gotta say, when like the show was first announced, I was kind of like, why are we getting a show about Andor? Like, we already know how the story ends if you've seen Rogue One. But then I had to think about it even more, and I'm just like, that's kind of a stupid or narrow way to think about Star Wars, because I was like, I want a Darth Vader prequel series with him hunting Jedi. I already know how Darth Vader's storyline ends. I want to see a prequel series of Mace Windu. I already know how Mace Windu's story ends. I'm excited about Ahsoka, even though I kind of don't know how Ahsoka's story ends because they don't really talk about that. I was excited about Obi-Wan. I know how Obi-Wan's story ends. So I was just like, that's a dumb way to think about it. But now with that said, after seeing the first 4 episodes, yeah, I love Andor so far, and it gives me all those vibes that I had when it came to watching Rogue One. I would say out of this new era of Star Wars, Rogue One is my favorite movie to come out of the new era of Star Wars. And it's definitely giving you those vibes, because the thing about Star Wars that we don't really think about, because we're following Luke Skywalker, the Jedi, Darth Vader, Palpatine, Leia, people that are at the higher echelons of the war, but the people that actually won the rebellion or allowed the rebellion to win and prosper are the more lower tier characters, the people that don't have higher ranking royalty authority or power of the Force. They're the everyday average people, which is what Andor represents. And it adds a little bit more level of tragedy, and it shows you a little bit more of the higher cost of the war against the Empire, because even when you think about Rogue One, we know how Rogue One ends. We know what happens with Cassian Andor. We know how his story ends. But then you think about the story of like Luke, Leia, Han, and all the other characters that we know and love, Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2. Like, yeah, there was a cost of war. Yeah, there was a heavy toll. But at the same time, at the end of the day, all of those characters that we know and love from the main Star Wars trilogy, they lived. They survived at the end of the Rebel Alliance and the war against the Empire. But with that said, and just like the way The Mandalorian looks like Star Wars, this show is no exception. This show looks like it takes place in the Star Wars world. This show looks like an extension of Rogue One, in that, again, talking about how Rogue One was essentially a tragedy, the palette and the color grading in this show, it's pretty dark. And it shows the circumstance like the beginning of the war, the beginning of the rebel, and the show is shot pretty beautifully and great. Now, I will say, because like, as much as I really did love Rogue One, I will say Rogue One was definitely a slow burn. It was a lot of character building, a lot of dialogue, a lot of exposition, and a lot of like really getting you into the story to explain the toll and cost of the war. And I would say, like, if you are watching Andor, don't watch it first thing in the morning like I did, because I watched it like the first 4 episodes. Soon as I woke up, I was still kind of tired. And because it is a slow burn, especially the first, I would say maybe 2 episodes, like the first 2 episodes are definitely pretty slow because it's establishing everything that you need to know. You're getting to know these characters, you're getting to know the world, you're getting to know the circumstances, you're getting to know the position that these characters are starting off in before things start to get crazy. So, like I said, don't watch it when you first wake up in the morning because of that, because there was a lot of moments, not because I was bored, I was just tired, like that I was starting to fall asleep, so I had to go back and rewatch it. So I will say that as a kind of warning that it does start off pretty slow, and you really have to pay attention to like understand everything that's going on, because there is a lot of world building and exposition and dialogue that happens, especially in the first episode. It almost, not to say nothing happens, but it kind of feels like, because there's so much dialogue, it feels like nothing happens, but all of it does end up paying off and has a lot of meaning as you get to episode 3, and especially episode 4. And with that said, like, I do feel like episodes 3 and 4 is when the show really starts to pick up and you start to feel like, you're like, oh man, like, things are not going to go the way you think on this show. Things are not going to go well. Things are not going to go happy. Again, this is the start of the rebellion. But yeah, so far, first 4 episodes in, the show is incredible. The cinematography is incredible. The score is incredible. I will say I thought it was kind of weird, because I think, if I remember correctly, even The Mandalorian started with the traditional Star Wars crawl. And this show, for it to be a Star Wars property, it didn't have the crawl that we're used to when it came to Star Wars. So I thought that was a little weird, but not weird enough that it took away my enjoyment or start, because like, you just think of Star Wars and you think of the crawl at the beginning of every adventure, but they didn't have that. But either way, I'm here for Andor. It makes me want to go back and rewatch Rogue One, because it's been a little while since I've seen it. And I wanted to watch it before I saw the first 4 episodes, but then I noticed that there was an expiration date on those episodes that Disney sent me. So I was like, you know what? I need to watch it now, and then I'll just go back and watch Rogue One later. So, but yeah, like Cassian Andor, Rogue One, I love them so far. So yeah, definitely check out Rogue One tomorrow. But the question is, maybe if you catch this review after Rogue One came out, what do you think about Rogue One? Or if you're watching this review before I posted today on Tuesday, are you anticipating Andor? Were you not anticipating Andor? What are all your thoughts about Andor? What Star Wars property are you most excited to watch? Let me know all of your Star Wars thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, again, hit that thumbs up button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and getting this video out there. And if this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video, and tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.